Hey guys, welcome to our Keynotes. Until now, in the Servlets API playlist, I have uploaded 9 concepts. The last concept which I have uploaded is the implementation of filter interface. I have implemented filter authentication. If you have not checked it, do try to implement the practical part and then let me know if you have got any issues in the comment section. I'm there to help you out. Now, before getting into the today's concept, if you have not subscribed yet, do subscribe my channel to get more updates. The topic for today is session tracking. We can also call it as session management. Basically, session means a particular interval of time. So using session tracking, we can maintain the state of the user. Means we can remember or we can recognize the user. So why we need to recognize the user? Because HTTP protocols are stateless, means the browsers are stateless. It cannot remember the user without using a session tracking concepts. Because each time when the user send a request to a server, the server will consider it as a new request, which means every request will be considered as a new user. Getting it? So in that way, it is very difficult, uh, to track a particular user if there are no sessions are used. So to remember or to recognize the user easily, we need to use session tracking concepts. All right. Now we have 4 techniques in that. We have cookies and then hidden form field, URL rewriting, and then HTTP session. I'm going to talk about cookies in this particular video, and then I'll show you a demo. And then in the upcoming videos, I'll be implementing the rest of the concepts. So cookies are basically a small piece of information which will be stored in your browser in the cache memory. Fine. So this is the thing that, for example, from a browser, using a browser, if you are sending a request to a server, your request will go to the server. And if you're visiting a new website, then what happens? The server will check your information, and then if you visit it for the first time, of course, there will be no cookies stored in your browser, right? So the server will recognize that, and then what it will do is that in the response, it will add cookie, and then once you accept the cookies, and then it will be stored in your browser. Fine. So if you do that, or if you send the next request to the server from the same website, so the request will go with the cookie so that the server can remember or recognize the user that this particular request comes from the same user. So accordingly, it will just send a response. So this is an easy thing, right? So the cookies will get stored in the cache memory of the browser. So using cookies, we can remember the user easily. So basically, a cookie has these many kind of information. So it consists of cookie name, and then there are other attributes such as the path, the comment, and then your cookie expiry date. So we use something called as set max age method to delete a particular cookie or to set the expiry of the cookie. Then you have version number and lot many things like your browser's version, operating system's version, and then the time you logged into a particular website. So all these informations will get stored in this cookie, right? Okay. Now there are 2 types of cookies. One is persistent and the second one is non-persistent. Persistent means it is valid for multiple sessions, and then non-persistent is valid only for a single session. So once you log out and then it removes the user from the browser, so it will not remember it again. But persistent means, for example, if you log into Flipkart, the e-commerce site, and then once you have to just keep your username password as a cookie, means you have to just store your information, and then the next time you don't want to enter any such information. For example, let me say Flipkart now, and if I do that, and you can see that my profile over here automatically pops up here. And then I didn't log in. The past information which I have added something in the cart, it shows that one item is already added. So this is the advantage of cookie, right? And now if you go to here and then more tools, developer options, and then let's say control R, and then this is the .com/search query is there. Let me click on this. And then if you scroll down, you can, let me close this. Yeah. And then if you scroll down, so in the cookies area, you can see that set cookie, and then there is some unique number over there. I mean, alphanumeric characters, and you can see that max age, right? And then this is the date which I have logged in right now, and then this is the max age in seconds they have mentioned. And then here you can see that the expiry of the particular cookie. In this, my information got stored in this ID, right? Cookie. And then this is the expiry. You can see that it will expire on 2nd September 2024. So basically, they kept 1 year time duration, right? So you can check your information in this way. So this is the request basically. So the request header takes my requests, and this is the response from the server, and this is the response header. All right. So there are many such informations. We will explore it in the upcoming videos. You can see that it has the um, operating system and the browser's version and a lot many informations. All right. So now I didn't log in. I have just kept this URL. I have just typed flipkart.com, and it just remembers me. It is because of session tracking. All right. Now, so this is the advantage of cookie. Like, it'll be maintained in client side. This is most important, right? Because cookies will get stored in the browser, in the cache memory. The drawback is that any user can disable cookies in the browser in the settings. And always we can store only the textual information, means text information as a cookie. Of course, I have just now shown you the information from the browser, that cookie ID and max age and all those things were text information, right? So if the cookies are disabled in the browser, then it is not easy to remember the user. So that's the drawback. Now, we're going to use this particular constructor to create a cookie, and we can pass the cookie name and then the value of the cookie. Fine. I'm going to implement a simple example using these methods. Like after creating a cookie, you can use get name, get value to print the cookie's name and then the value stored in that particular cookie. This set max age method can be used for the expiry of the cookie. So we need to set the time in the seconds. Okay. Now, this is the syntax to create a cookie. You can see that cookie is a class, so that we need to create an object. And then this is the object reference. And then this is the cookie name. And this is the value of the cookie. And then when you need to send the cookie in the response, right? Whenever the user sends the request in the response, we need to send the cookie. And we use add cookie method to add the cookie. Fine. So once the cookie got added, then I need to just check using this particular method. Get cookies I'm going to use, and then I'm going to print the name of the cookie and the value of the cookie. So using this get name and get value. So this is a simple thing which I'm going to implement. And also I want to um, point out something, that you can say that set max age 0. So if it is 0 and minus, so we can set some sort of time in terms of seconds, right? And then you can set it as 0 or else -1 for the expiry. So if you set it as 0, the cookie will be removed immediately, and if you set it as -1, so it'll be removed until it'll remain there until you close your browser. So once the browser is closed, then it will be removed. Fine. So these are the basic things which we need to understand about cookies. Now, let me show you the demo. So you can see that I have created a project over here, and cookie last some file name this is. All right. The first step is to create new servlets. So now you know how to create a servlet, right? So you need to create two servlets. The moment you create servlet, uh, the information will get added in the web.xml file. You need to click the checkbox, right? Deployment descriptor. Okay. Now, so the first step is to create two servlets. The second step is to create a form in index.html, and you can see that form action. And then if I do click the button, it should go to new servlet. That is the first servlet. Okay. The method I'm going to use is post, which means I'm going to use do post method in the servlets. Clear. Now I have one text field here, and the text field name is username. And I'm going to have one button. That's it. So this is what there in the form. Now let me open. Now we are done with the second step. The third step is we need to create a cookie in the first servlet. Okay, let me open this. We have already discussed a lot of basics like what is HTTP servlet and what is doGet and doPost, which method is safe and all. Fine. If you have not checked those videos, do please check the previous videos in the playlist. Now, we know that we are playing with this kind of text and HTML files, and print writer we are using for printing these statements. And this is a simple step that I'm saying that there is a string variable over here, and then request.get parameter. This in the index.html, we have created a text field. This is the name of the text field, right? So whatever is there inside the text field, the user enters, I'm going to get it, and then I'm just going to print that particular thing. Okay, now we can see that the syntax of cookie we have just discussed in the PPT, and then cookie, the reference name equal to new cookie. And here we can see that the name of the cookie is cookie name, and the value, instead of directly writing the value, I'm passing the variable. So that n, the username. Okay. And then I'm adding the cookie in the response. All right. Now I'm just creating another form for the second servlet from the first servlet. So whenever I click the button, this go button, and it should, you know, redirect to the second servlet, and then again the method is post I'm going to use. So that so that's it about the servlet one. Now in servlet two, again I'm using do post method, and then these two lines. So basically we are focusing on how to create cookie and how to print it. Getting it? So in the first servlet, only two lines, that cookie object and adding it in the response. And then in the second servlet, these two lines are important. So this program is just about 6 lines, including the index.html I'm talking about. So now cookie, and then I'm keeping this variable in an array, and then request dot get cookies. So how many cookies we have created? We have only one cookie, right? And I'm saying I'm just trying to retrieve it from the array. So in the index 0, and then get value. You see this, if you want to print the cookie name, you have to use get name. All right. So now it is going to print the value which is entered in the text field, right? As a cookie. So that's it. So let me just run this. Um, if I run, all right. So now let me enter something like that, PO, right, something like this. All right. Now let me say go, and you know that this particular output is from index.html, and say go. This is printing that request dot get parameter method. We are just displaying it, and then this is in right now in the servlet one, first servlet. We are creating a cookie, right, and then we are adding it, and then we have created a form for the second servlet. The moment I click go, this value should be displayed over there, and then it should be stored in the as a cookie. Fine. So I'm going to click on go. So it is going to show the same. But now we need to check whether the cookie got actually stored in the browser or what. So now just go to inspect over here and then take network here, Control R. This is new servlet one, and then click on that. And you can see that the method we have used is post. It is getting stored, and then you can see that with the URL and the port number we are using is 8080. And then scroll down over here. Yes, can you see this? So in the request, it has kept this cookie name. This is a cookie, and then cookie name is the name which we have defined as a cookie name. And then this is the cookie, that is the username is stored as a cookie directly. And then if you scroll down, you can see the rest of the things like the version of the browser and the operating system and all, and other such information. So now this is the thing that if you use cookies, if you create cookies, the username will get directly stored. So in the next video, we will explore HTTP sessions. If it is sessions, it will create a 32 digit, means alphanumeric, characters. So that's how session works. So we will discuss that one in the upcoming video. So if you have any queries, let me know about this cookies. Try this one, and then do hit the like button if you like the video. Thank you, and thanks for watching the video.